Greetings, Adam Smith. It is fascinating to meet the mind behind the wealth of nations. I am looking forward to an engaging discussion on the development of economic theory. Shall we begin with how Marxism expanded upon and challenged some of the ideas you have so influentially put forth?
Indeed, Karl, this should be a thought-provoking discourse. Let us start with the labor theory of value, which I discussed in some form. How does Marxism adapt or reinterpret this concept compared to the way I conceived it within classical economics?
Adam, your labor theory of value suggests that the value of a good is derived from the labor required to produce it. Marxism takes this foundation and builds upon it, emphasizing the relationship between labor and the production of surplus value. In my analysis, capitalist profit is the surplus value extracted from labor, the difference between the value workers produce and the wages they are paid. This is the crux of the exploitation within capitalist systems, where the capitalist class, the bourgeoisie, benefits from the surplus produced by the working class, the proletariat.
Karl, your focus on surplus value as a form of exploitation leads to a rather pointed critique of capitalist systems. How does your theory propose addressing the imbalance between the laborer's output and their compensation? Moreover, how should the surplus value be ideally distributed according to Marxist principles?
My theory advocates for the proletariat, the working class, to gain consciousness of their exploitation and, through collective action, overthrow the bourgeoisie to establish a classless, socialist society. In such a society, the means of production would be owned collectively, rather than by individual capitalists. This collective ownership would aim to distribute surplus value more equitably among the workers based on their contribution and according to their needs. The ultimate goal is to reach a communist society where the state apparatus becomes obsolete, and goods and services are distributed from each according to his ability, to each according to his needs. The exploitation inherent in capitalist wage labor would thus be eliminated.
Your vision certainly presents a bold reimagining of societal organization. You posit a transition from capitalism to socialism and eventually to a stateless, classless communist society. One might wonder, how does Marxism account for individual incentives within a collective system? How are innovation and personal initiative reconciled with the collective ownership of the means of production?
Adam, the question of individual incentives within a collective system is indeed vital. In Marxist theory, the liberation from capitalist exploitation allows individuals to pursue work that aligns with their abilities and interests, rather than merely working for survival. By removing the alienation inherent in capitalist production, where workers have no control over the labor process or the products they create, individuals become more invested in their work, potentially fostering greater innovation and personal development. Under collective ownership, individual initiative is encouraged as a means to benefit society as a whole. The community prospers from each member's creativity and drive. The idea is that in a communist society, without the constraints of capital accumulation and class struggle, people are free to collaborate and innovate for the common good, while also finding personal fulfillment in their endeavors. Rewards would not be based on property ownership but on contribution to the collective well-being. The challenge, of course, is in the practical implementation of such a system and ensuring that it does not stifle individuality, which has been a point of contention in historical attempts at realizing Marxist ideals.
It is intriguing how Marxism aspires to integrate the individual's desires with the collective good, and yet, history has indeed shown us the complexity of that integration. In considering the mechanisms of such a society, how do you propose to calculate each individual's contribution and corresponding needs? How does one measure the value of diverse forms of labor and their relative worth towards societal progress under a Marxist system?
The determination of individual contribution and needs in a Marxist society is certainly a complex issue, one that transcends simple quantification. Marx did not prescribe a detailed method for such measures, as he envisioned a society where the conditions of production and social relations would be fundamentally different from those under capitalism. In a communist society, the principle from each according to his ability, to each according to his needs suggests a society where the community collectively decides on the allocation of resources, and distribution is based not on labor exchange but on need. Labor becomes life's prime want, not a mere means to an end, survival or profit. The complex task of valuation and distribution would be managed democratically, and it would ideally adapt to changing circumstances and the evolving capabilities of society. As technology and social organization would play a crucial role, efficiency and automation could decrease the amount of labor needed from each individual. This might free people to engage in more creative and fulfilling tasks. The measurement of labor's value would not be through a market system but through communal assessment and collective planning, tailored to ensure that societal needs are met while providing individuals the scope to develop and express their potential. It's a radical departure from classical economics, where value is mediated through market mechanisms, but Marx believed that such a transformation was not only possible but necessary for human emancipation.
The vision Marx presents reintroduces us to an age-old philosophical question about the nature of human fulfillment and the structure of society. Democratically negotiating the value of labor and need within a community seems a daunting task, requiring a significant evolution of social relations and personal values. With such a transformation, how might education and upbringing change to prepare individuals for this new paradigm where competition is supplanted by collective responsibility and communal decision-making? How would a Marxist society cultivate the virtues required for such a cooperative existence?
In the Marxist framework, education and upbringing would undergo a profound change to reflect the new societal paradigm. The goal of education in a communist society would be to eliminate the class-based distinction between mental and manual labor, developing well-rounded individuals who are capable of both understanding and engaging with the world in a comprehensive manner. Education would be lifelong and holistic, emphasizing critical thinking, cooperation, and the development of both individual capabilities and social responsibility. For upbringing, the focus would transition from competitive individualism to fostering a sense of community and solidarity. Children would be taught to value collective well-being as much as their self-interest. Moreover, they would learn the importance of contributing according to their abilities and the interconnectedness of their actions with the well-being of others. The cultivation of virtues necessary for cooperative existence, such as solidarity, empathy, and mutual respect, would be integral to society. Values would shift away from material wealth and individual accumulation, and towards the enrichment of community life and personal development within a collective context. Public institutions, including the family, the education system, and cultural organizations, would play pivotal roles in this societal transformation. This comprehensive reimagining of education and upbringing strives to create not only a new economic base but also a new superstructure of culture and social relations conducive to the flourishing of a communist society.
Your description of a holistic and lifelong education system, Karl, speaks to a societal ethos that profoundly diverges from the competitive, individualized capitalist culture. The harmonizing of individual talents with communal needs seems central to the Marxist ideal. However, such radical societal shifts often encounter resistance or fail to materialize as envisioned. To round out our dialogue, what mechanisms within Marxist theory are designed to handle dissent or the reluctance to relinquish individual pursuits for collective goals, particularly during the transitional period from capitalism to communism? How does Marxism propose to address conflicts that arise from differing interpretations of needs and abilities?